Welcome to the Neurodivergent Experience podcast, a podcast where we share the lived experiences of neurodivergent people to help create a better understanding for our community.
Join us every week as we bring you honest, raw, and inspiring conversations with specialists, advocates, and individuals who know exactly what it's like to live the neurodivergent experience.
I'm Jordan James, a neurodivergent specialist, father of neurodivergent children, husband to a neurodivergent wife, and author of The Autistic Experience, and I'm joined by my best friend.
I'm Simon Scott. I'm an autistic ADHD broadcaster, actor, and advocate. Join us as we journey into unraveling the neurodivergent experience. Hello. How's it going?
No. No, stop it. Stop with the neurotypical crap. I just hate that. How's what going? Be specific. Come on. Come on, if you think you're hard enough. Start it. Go on. Okay.
It's just a Yorkshire thing.
How's what going? No, it's not.
How are you going?
Bollocks. It's a neurotypical thing. It's a trained thing. It's like saying bless you when you sneeze, and I fucking hate that as well. What are you blessing? What are you blessing? Are you some bloody priest or something? Right? I've sneezed. Oh my God. Like, just shut up, right?
Hello, how are you?
So what I want to know, like specifically, like you could say like, hello, or
howdy.
How is your morning going? Or
you want me to be more specific?
Yeah, that's the problem with the neurotypical, how's it going? Is how's what going? And I know this sounds kind of like stereotypical of like, oh, like a autistic person just being like, oh, I'm going to tell you my life story. I'm not going to tell you my life story. It's not your fucking business, right? So don't ask me. Just say hello.
Okay.
And if it's how are you, say, how are you this morning? And I'll be like, yeah. Or how are you this afternoon? Just add a bit onto it. Get specific. Don't be like, you know, or how was your journey? Like when I get to work, so people should be like, oh, how was your journey? And I'll be like, well, I was in a car and it was crap. So like that's like you know when you meet someone and like they've flown,
it happens,
allegedly, and they've flown in. So you know you meet them at the airport or something. And what is the
how
first
was your
thing?
flight?
How was your flight? How was your flight? Not how's it going? You go, what? How was your flight? So let's do how's your flight, but for everything. Let's be specific, people. Otherwise, I will get upset, and no one wants that.
But then, can you deal with me going, hello, how was your morning? How was your evening? How was work?
I can tell you my morning was. I went and played basketball. That was right after breakfast, and all the way through basketball, I was like, because my stomach was like, I don't like you much now. And I came back and I played some Avowed because, you know, I love being Oakley. Yeah, Oakley. Yeah, love being a bit of Oakley. And now I'm talking to you. So that's how my morning's gone. How's your morning?
How's my morning? Oh, I am a zombie today. I'm feeling burnt out a little bit with work and moving house and just life. I'm struggling to sleep at the moment. I'm struggling to turn my brain off. But good news, listeners. I am leaving the bar job. I handed my notice in earlier this week. I am going back into podcasting full-time.
Yay.
And it's a great relief. I've just got to get to it. One of the things that I'm now finding really difficult, as soon as I handed my notice in, I walked back onto the bar and I just went, nah, fuck it. Like demand avoidance just went, and scene.
Yeah. Do you know what I love? I love the fact that this podcast, us doing this for the past year, has led to that.
Yeah, it's changed my life. Best thing I've ever done.
It is. It's a thing that I've done. It's one of the many.
You can't hear it on radio, guys, but I just rolled my eyes.
It's true. It's true. Like I wrote a book and I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Which is funny because the person who I'm now going to go and work for, we met at Autistic Minds.
Yeah, I mean, I did Autistic. It's fine.
I'm just gonna call you Maui because you're just like, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh my God, that's it. That's my new tagline. You're welcome.
Oh no.
I don't know if Disney will let me get away with that. But no, it's.
I'm gonna have to edit that out for copyright.
I'm so freaking proud of you, dude. At the end of the day,
Thanks,
we've done this together and it's a wonderful experience. But it's your skills. It's your
my techers, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. Like, you are really good at what you do.
Oh, thank you.
You talk to these people and you've negotiated with these people and you've done it.
Yeah.
You know, all this podcast did was give you that exposure that you deserved.
Gave me a platform.
Yeah. And it's,
definitely.
Dude, it's absolutely superb. And I am just so happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, there's that pessimist in me that goes, "Oh, I hope it all works out." Because I'm just
that's true. It's like ending mine thinking I'm exactly the same. I want it to work out, and I'm very much sure that it will. It's just great working with other autistic people. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving being able to use my skills, be at work, and be unmasked. Like, I cannot, undervalue the benefits that is having on my life at the moment. Being able to work unmasked, it's a huge difference compared to like where I've been, like when I'm at the bar and I'm just like faking it till I make it. Like, it exhausts me, and now I'm finding when I'm working, I feel a lot more myself, and it's great. But that's not what we're talking about today, is it?
No. What did I buy this week?
Yes, yeah. There we go. Right, new segment. I need to make a little jingle. What did Jordan buy this week? Capitalism,
like a little cash. Ding-a-ling.
Yeah,
like the cash. Yeah, cha-ching. What did he buy this week?
Or if you sold something, we'll be like, I'll do the opposite. Or like, we'll try and get a sound where like the cash goes back in.
I don't even think that's worth it. I really don't sell much, to be fair.
Okay.
Most of the time, I just give stuff to a charity
Note
shop.
to self, make cha-ching effect.
Yeah. Because cool. I'm just that cool and stuff. Right, so I bought a Boston Celtics hoodie.
Have you got one before? Have you had one before?
Okay. I might have 3 other Boston Celtics hoodies, but they're all different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That wouldn't be weird if they were just all the same and it was like a Homer Simpson. Yeah. Like every shirt is the same. No, so I was good with this because I wanted to buy this jumper when it first came out. It's really, really nice. It's very vibrant green. It's got a cool,
it's very cool, very, very cool
3-leaf clover on the front, and it matches my Tatum 3s, what I call the Grinch colorway because it's so bright green. But I didn't want to spend £65 on a jumper. I was like, no, that's ridiculous, because I bought so many. And I was like, I'll just wait till it goes on sale. It's bound to go on sale. And it did. And I got it for 40 quid. And, I saved myself money. And it was on my list of, I'm not buying anything but except if this hoodie goes on sale. So this hoodie was on my list. I'm just saying, in case anyone wants to give me grief about it.
It's a very long list.
Shh.
No, that's very cool. Very cool. I have also been in spendo mode. I had the privilege of driving Caris to IKEA the other day. Sweet Jesus Christ.
I hate IKEA.
Like, don't get me wrong, like we had the meatballs, it was good, and we had a little walk around, but then like after about an hour we were like, oh God, it was so far away from the exit.
I hate, once you're in, you can't leave. It's illegal. Like, they'll just trap you there. And you're just trapped with the most. And then I'm like, where's the toy section? There isn't one.
And then the little guys in the yellow polos come out and they're like, one of us. Dude, before you know it, you're working there. It's just,
I went once and I went never again. And that was like 20 odd years ago when Sylvia and I first got married, and we were looking for things to add to like the wedding list, like the gift list.
Yeah.
And I even in IKEA, I managed to find something that resembled a toy, which was a blue lamp in the shape of an egg, and he had little silver feet. So it was an egg with feet, and I bought that, and I called it Steve. And
Nice.
and my kids know Steve. Like, he's part of the family. It's really weird. And I went into Simon's room because Simon, my son, the other day, he was cleaning out his room. And I was like, do you know where Steve is? And I didn't say the blue egg thing. I just went, do you know where Steve is? I just went, do you know where Steve is? And he went, oh yeah, Steve's up there. And it was so funny because I was like, oh, we haven't talked about Steve for about 10 years. And I was like, do you know where Steve is? And he knew exactly what I was talking about and knew exactly where it was. And I was like, I just love that. It's really cute. Like, I've brought my kids up to know that this blue egg lamp, his name is Steve.
Yeah, I love good family in jokes.
I don't know where I was going with that. Where are we?
We're going around the houses, aren't we? We are going around the houses.
Yeah, but, IKEA, something.
IKEA, but yeah, one of the things that is going to be like our main topic today is I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but there's a show out at the moment called Severance, and it's bloody good. It's awesome. I've really enjoyed watching it. It's on Apple TV,
so if you don't have Apple TV, you can't watch it, I guess. Because illegal streaming is illegal, and we do not condone that whatsoever. No, pay for your stuff.
Yes, of course. If an Amazon stick fell off the back of a truck, flew through your window, and plugged itself into your TV, you are a victim. I understand. You know,
terrible.
You know, we really feel sorry for you. And do you know who I feel more sorry for? These really big corporations that you're missing out on 40, 50 pound subscriptions a month. Like, they're the real losers in this situation.
I mean, how much?
You'd be surprised with Sky Sports and everything. It gets a bit silly.
Oh no, Sky's disgusting, mate. That thing is. We cancelled our Sky a long time ago. I just have I got Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, and Apple and Paramount. Oh my god, here it comes. Yeah, that's it. just 5.
Honestly, Karis and I just use Apple TV and Netflix. They're the only two that we use.
You see, I've got a Paramount because that's where all the turtles are.
Yeah, see, I haven't got shows that are like hidden in certain ones. So it's because I just watch like South Park and stuff on YouTube sometimes. But yes. Anyway, I know. But Severance, I was absolutely enamored with this show. I think the way that it's been made, the fact that it's directed by Ben Stiller as well, kind of just shows its comedic chops, but also his ability as a director. I think he's done an unbelievable job with the show. The acting in it is phenomenal. And I was watching it with how a lot of the characters interact and the fact that there's like innies and outies and people have had their brains split through technology.
Down there, champ. Slow down there, champ.
I like it. It's good.
I get that, but let's start from the beginning, shall we?
Oh, right from the beginning.
For user friendly interfaces,
the users.
We are not going to do spoilers, despite the fact that he probably will. And we'll have to edit.
What do you mean we'll have to edit them out? I'll have to edit them out.
We will collectively, as I will just be like, can't say that. And then you edit out. That's
thank you.
Collaboration. Yeah. So the idea of Severance is there is a corporation and dude, edit that out.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Wow, just immediately. You're just worse than Sylvia. Right, start again.
Okay, right.
There is a corporation and there you have a main headquarters and a guy named Mark works there. When he goes to work, he is himself. He is Mark. When he goes down the lift into a lower level of a secret area, right, where this corporation is doing important work, he becomes a different version of himself. So essentially, the only thing that he remembers from his work day is when he gets in the lift and then 8 hours later when he comes out of the lift. There is nothing in between that. In that 8 hours, his brain changes through this chip and he becomes a different person inside. And it's called an innie, and he's the outie. So his innie is completely unaware of everything outside and vice versa. So the whole idea of severancing is that we are able to do certain things in our lives that a different version of us will do, so we don't have to. And that is the idea of what we're talking about. It's not the show itself. We don't want to give anything away. We don't want to give any spoilers away.
I'm so glad you explained that, because I definitely would have given spoilers away.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
Because I've been, I know. Because I love the show, and I've just recently got into it, which is really good because I was able to watch both seasons 1 and 2 back to back. Because I can't imagine watching the first one and having to wait 3 years, which is what it was.
I watched it back to back. I'm relatively new to it, but I just loved it.
Yeah, we love the idea, and the fact is that you can look at it and go, is our version as neurodivergent people, is our version of severancing the adult and the child? Because that's how it feels in this show, is that he is an adult, and then the only thing his innie has ever known, because the first time his innie came to life was in this work environment, and the only thing his innie has ever known or will ever know is this environment of this like computer work floor, essentially. Yeah, he's like an IT guy, and the idea is that it's very sensitive material, and the outie should not know anything. It's kind of like the extreme version of a non-disclosure agreement. It's like the extreme version of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the innie essentially is almost like a child, because he doesn't know anything other than what his
task is.
Yeah.
His role. Yeah.
His role. Yeah. So no more details about the show. Watch it if you want. Enjoy it if you want, or don't. But that's the idea, is that there is a lot of things we can look at this show and go, it's very, I can really relate to that as a neurodivergent, because sometimes when, I don't know, what would you consider the outie version and the innie version, the adult or the child? Because I would consider my childlike self to be the innie, but also the outie is technically the original.
Yeah, so this is what I was going to say, is there's almost like a fascinating sort of paradox with it, because the innie is like the inner child, right? And then the outie is who you have to be in the outside world. But in context of the show, the innie is actually in the difficult outside world, whereas the outie has the freedom to not think about work, not even know what they technically do for work. They just go to an office, get in a lift, and a second passes for them, and then they get out of the lift and they clock out, and it's 5 o'clock. They go home and they do whatever they want. So for me, I sort of viewed the innie as the
adult,
because they're the one that's going to work. They're doing this, they're doing that. And after watching this show, I was like, blimey, if I was severed or had severance, what would I get my innie to do? What do I not like doing? Or what could I just, have happen in my life that I just go, I don't even want to have to think about that. It just happens and it's done for me. So
do you have a list, or is there like one big major one?
Oh, I've got a few. So I thought maybe we could have like a bit of a back and forth about it and just see. No. So what? How do you? So you?
No. You go first. You go first. I've talked enough. I'm going to shut up. I want to listen now.
Before I was changing my job into full-time like podcasting production, I would definitely get my innie to work in the bar. 100%, absolutely. Because even when I'm working in the bar and I'm masking, I feel like an innie, but I'm very aware that I'm there. I can't leave. And I'm looking at the time and going, oh my God, I've got 5 hours until I have to leave. I'd love to just flick the switch and walk out of work and be like, oh, I guess that was a hard day. I'll see you later, guys. I get to go home and play video games now. Like, that's sort of the overriding feeling that I had with it. But then on top of that, I was thinking, God, I'd love it if my innie could just go to the gym for 2 hours for me. And I come out and I'm just like, oh, I bet that was a great workout. What a sweat I've worked up. and it's just been done, because I have like demand avoidance around certain things like that. So things with like, I struggle to almost like commit to with executive functioning. I just be like, oh, I'll get my innie to do that because they won't have to struggle to do it, if that makes sense.
Yes, but okay. So here's my question. We'll start with the first one. Okay, when you go to work and you have to work in the bar, would you not say that you have you got zero benefit from that? Because I know a lot of the times you'll tell me bar stories, and there's a lot of positive things that are happening, a lot of things that have made you feel better about being an advocate who was trying to help people. And you told me about how you were helping those visually impaired people, how you were helping.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That neurodivergent girl. And, you know, you've implemented changes and possibly changed people's lives just by showing them a different way or some kindness. And it's not like the inner version of you wouldn't have done those things. Let's assume that they did, but you would never know about them. So that would never have helped you grow as a person. Because the lessons you learn in the difficult situations, like in a work environment when you're under pressure, and you learn those things, and that strengthens your resolve, and that strengthens you as a person. And I don't mean like,
it's character building, isn't it?
Yeah. And I don't mean like, abuse, like what I went through as a kid. I was like, well, that helped you become stronger. No, it weakened me. And I want to talk about that in a bit. It weakened me severely. What strengthened me was being a dad and being a husband and going through the tough times of being a dad and a husband, because I went through many, many tough experiences, but I would never have not wanted to go through those. I just wish that I hadn't been abused so I could have dealt with them better. It's because if I hadn't been abused, then I would have been a stronger person, and I would have been a more confident person, and I would have been able to deal with those difficult situations far more efficiently.
Yeah, you wouldn't have started with a deficit, would you? You know, you would have started on an even keel. Yeah.
Literally. And in my life, it was like you talk about going to the gym. The other thing about going to the gym, especially when you're ADHD, is it's really great. It's a really great feeling of an achievement as well. For me, and this, I go with the same thing. For me, is the thing that I want to sever out of my freaking life has definitely built character, but I've had enough of this fucking character building with this particular shit, and that is just traveling anywhere, just anywhere. Like I've always said that if I could invent one thing from a sci-fi show, I would want the transporter from Star Trek. Because
like
transporters,
warp out.
Yeah, transporters, I don't know if you understand Star Trek, if you're listening, transporters don't just work ship to ship or ship to planet. They work from all over the planet. You can warp from like one side of the world to the other instantly. Because like if you can get to a starship and back, you can get to like, you know, New Zealand and back.
You can get to Tesco's and back in time for it to close.
Exactly. You can go anywhere. You can just warp places. I don't mean like going for a nice walk or something. I mean like getting in my car and going to work.
Rush hour traffic and stuff like that.
I like being at my work. I like the people I work with. I like the person that I'm at there. I feel good about myself because I have a sense of achievement. Especially, you know, working my way up and being able to help people that I work with, because I pride myself on being a listener, being somebody, as we've discussed, being somebody that is there to manage people, to help them, to guide them, not to just like dictatorly tell them what to do, but to work with them to make them better at their job and help. Maybe they can make me and help me be better at my job. And we just team is the absolute key to that. And I love working in a team, a small team.
I was just about to say, me too, but a small team.
Yeah. So I've got a team of 3, and that's perfect. I could handle maybe a couple more people, but I think any more than that, I'd be like,
It's a bit spread thin, aren't you?
Yeah. But I've got it down. Like I don't like love security. It's a job, but I love the security job that I have. Like it's a great job. Like the thing I hate about it is the 40-minute drive to get there. When just people are cutting you up, no one's indicating, people are just pulling across lanes like lunatics. Some people are speeding at ridiculous speeds. I had a BMW this morning.
Oh God!
Coming home from work, it was so foggy, like you could barely see anything. And a BMW fly past me. This was a 60-mile-an-hour zone. He must have been going well over 90. No lights. And he's bombed past me. There could have been something in the road because you couldn't see more than a few feet in front of you. And he's bombing it at 90. And you're just like, just like you have to,
crazy.
Like, just thick as shit. And then you get the other side of it of like just people doing 30 and a 50. And you're like, well, if you want to do that speed, just pull over. Get out of my way because I want to do 50 and a 50.
We were driving back from Liverpool the other night and the motorway went from 4 lanes to 1 because there was like people in the road and there was all these cones. And the guy who was in front of me decided, I'm going to do this at 30. So we went from 70 all the way down to 30 and the conga line of cars that were behind me. And what happened when the road opened up and I blasted past him? He was watching Netflix on his phone. His little phony thing. He was driving and he had like something playing on his phone in his little like sat-nav holder. Just like fucking moron. And I see it a lot, man. I was driving the other day, dude, and there's like these 2 lanes that merge on like a bit of a tight corner on this junction where I go. Every single person in the other lane cuts the corner. And if you are going at the same time, you will get pinned against a wall. Like, and every single time I slow down because I know this corner happens, Audi, BMW, Volkswagen behind me, lights flashing, pipping. Like, dude, it's a fucking 30 zone. And people are like, no, Sonic, gotta go fast. Like, we're all going in the same direction. And do you know what, my friend? Thinking about it, you once, I hate to say it, but you've changed my mind again. Normally, you're right. If I'm being totally honest, I have enjoyed the team I work with at work. There are people I work with that I have a lot of love for, and I will really miss being on that team. You're right. You know, I do enjoy advocating at work and bringing some positivity and helping people that maybe need a bit of accommodation. That brings me a lot of joy. It empowers me. So maybe I will change work. Traveling can get in the bin. I absolutely hate commuting. Like, if I could buy a ticket for a plane, wheel my suitcase to the airport, and as soon as I walk through the airport, I'm suddenly walking out of the airport 14 hours later, and I can't feel the smell of the plane. I haven't got that like chill that you get when you're on the plane. I've not had people brushing up against me. I've not had people in a queue for an hour in front of me and then suddenly go, oh, where's my passport? I'm like,
dude, I'll go one better. You get in the car, because normally I get a lift or I get a taxi to the airport, right, from my house. You get in the car to go to the airport, get in the car. Next thing you know, you're getting out of the taxi at your destination. You're already there.
Just wake up on the beach, pina colada in hand.
Yep, you're walking straight into the hotel. Like, there it is. I didn't have to do anything. But you can decide. You can say, look, I want it from here to here. Like, you can pick a point of just like, I'm just literally going to be a different human for that time. I'm just going to sever, and my poor innie can just deal with that shit.
Yeah,
because it's the most stressful thing. Just the whole traveling thing. And I'm glad that I've done it, but it's the thing that most puts me off going and doing more traveling.
I would struggle to do it.
I've got a 30-odd hour journey to be able to deal with on 2 different flights to get to New Zealand next February. And there is so much of me that's like, I might not go. I mean, I will go. It's going to happen. But damn, that flight messes with my head.
Oh, if your innie did your flights for you, do you think your outie would feel jet lag?
No.
Because if not, Even more of an amazing bonus.
Yeah, because you just sort of get there.
Like, what about,
I don't know.
Because I asked Karis about this. I was like, if you could sever and you had an innie and an outie, what would you deal with? She was like, emails. Anytime I logged into Gmail, I'd just log out again and all my emails would be replied to or sent. I was like, yeah, no, that's a good one. Another one that she said as well is going to the supermarket. Said she'd love to be able to just walk towards the supermarket and suddenly she's walking back to the car with a trolley full of food.
I mean, you could do that. It's called ordering your food online.
I know, but which is hypothetically. No, we do normally do order our food online, but we've also got 2 concierge receptionists at our current flat because we're still in like transition. We've got the house, but I paid for an extra month on the flat to transition because I'm not a crazy person. I'm not doing it in a day. And the 2 concierge that we've got are both like ex-military, and they're like, they must be in their 60s and 70s, but they act like they're working at freaking Checkpoint Charlie. And anytime anybody like tries to come and deliver, they go, whoa, you can't come in here, even though they can. So we haven't been able to get food shops because they've basically been like, you need to park like half a mile down the street, and then the Tesco and that are like, oh, we're not going to bring it, so you have to come and get it. So it was just completely defeated the point. So we've had to like do supermarket shopping recently, but Karis was like, yeah, fuck that. I'll let my Innie go to Aldi for me because I'm not going.
I've got a good one. Yeah. I didn't even think about this until literally just now. Well, I was like, oh, if we can do like little things, going to the doctor. Or even calling.
The dentist as well.
Get doctor, dentist, anything that I just do not want to do. So going to the tip or anything Sylvia asks me to do. Just anything.
Oh, take the bins out.
Cooking.
Ooh, yeah.
Like we get HelloFresh and the HelloFresh is there and I go Innie and then I come outie and it's cooked because I don't want to do that like at all. So if like little things, it will just be like chores. Anything I've got to do as a chore because I really, really just I hate any chore like washing up and hoovering and
I tell you what. We'll let our innies go to a break, and when we come back, I've got a good one for you. See what you think of this.
Cool.
This episode of the Neurodivergent Experience is brought to you by RTN Mental Health Solutions. With up to a 5-year waiting list for autism and ADHD assessments via the NHS, and that's even if you get a referral from your GP, getting an assessment in the UK has never been harder. So if you're like me and can't wait anymore, going private may be the best option for you. RTN offers online assessments for kids aged 6 right up to adults, with prices starting at £900. To make it more accessible, RTN can offer payment plans up to 5 months. You can access their remote services from the comfort of your home anywhere in the UK, and RTN offers group and one-to-one counselling, a private route to access ADHD medication following the assessment, and will even fight for you if your GP doesn't accept the results. So if you live in the UK and can't wait to get an assessment, go to www.rtnmentalhealthsolutions.com and use the discount code RTN23, making it even more affordable for all of our listeners to get an autism and ADHD assessment.
Hello, Outies. Welcome back to the Neurodivergent Experience. We've been talking about severance and being severed and things that we would or wouldn't like to do in life.
And belly buttons.
And,
Innies and Outies.
Hey!
That's what I think of when I think Innie Outie. I just think belly buttons.
I think that's the title for the episode, belly buttons. I'm loving the weird titles, though. They're a lot of fun. The last one was Oakley in the Boy Cave, and it's had good responses. So we're going to keep those. And if you don't know what that means, go listen to the last episode. It's all good fun. We were just talking about things that we wouldn't like to do, the thought just came to my head. I would get my innie to have tattoos for me. So if I could be like...
I love tattoos.
I want a 6-hour back piece done, which I would love to get done, but also I think I would really struggle to get it done, just with like pain threshold and things like that. But if I could drop my innie off at the tattoo studio and I wake up come round with the cling film on and it's already done. That would be great.
Yeah, I think
very highly.
Anything medical, because I hate sitting and waiting around. I think that's one of the things. I mean, I actually don't mind talking to a doctor. I'm pretty forceful, so I don't really get gaslit a lot because I'm just like, I know more than you. Shut up.
I think purgatory for me though is a GP's waiting room.
Yeah, God, I just I hate it. Or when every time I go and get new glasses, and you just have to sit there in that chair.
Oh, it's the most bright room ever. Waiting. Just like.
Because I want to go and choose my glasses. I like that bit. Like, the shiny thing, new glasses. Like, oh, yeah, these cool ones. They're like, Drew Holiday, who I saw playing basketball, and he's got cool glasses. So I bought glasses like he got. And I was like, that's cool. And they're like, you have to sit there and wait and like 10 minutes. And I'm like, ugh, nah, don't. I just struggle doing nothing. It's just, I would have said in the past, like, just anything with Facebook, just dealing with anyone on Facebook.
Yeah.
But nowadays, because I don't use it that much, I just enjoy the interactions that I get on Facebook, whereas a lot of them used to be toxic.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that I like when we're like talking about like the idea that you don't retain information, like that is one of the sticking points, because I would have loved somebody else to have gone to school for me. I would have loved to have had somebody else had to deal with the bullies and feeling ostracized and feeling like there's something wrong with them, and being able to come home and have my education, but not feel like a freak or an alien. Like, that would have been quite nice. I would have quite liked to have got through my GCSEs and not have been there. That would have been absolutely ideal. And, it's weird, isn't it? Because like you were saying with like the character building thing, I'm thinking of things and like going through the Rolodex in my brain of ideas, and then there are moments where I go, yeah, but you learnt a lot from that, and that was good for you, really. Like when we were saying with work, you changed my mind real quick on it. But it is odd. But the whole like idea of like the innie and the outie. Do you ever feel like because like I know that you don't mask as much as me, if at all. But when I find I'm masking, I feel like I'm pretending to be like what a quote unquote innie. It's like I'm almost like trying to separate myself so much from who I am. It's like I was at work last night and I was do you know what, dude? I managed to advocate for myself last night, and I'll explain how, but you'll be proud of me for this. I was at work and I had Karis texting me about the move. And because the bar was busy, and because it's not quite spring yet, but like January, February and March, they lower wage percentage. Because bars don't make as much money in those months, you understaff yourself purposefully so that you're not spending, your overheads are smaller. So on nights when you should have 3 people on a bar, you have 2. And one of the difficulties that comes with that is if you're 3 people deep on a bar and then suddenly a keg needs changing, there's only 1 person on the bar when there should always be 2. And you add into the fact that the bar is also a restaurant and the food bell's dinging. As I'm going to change a keg, I hear 4 plates that need to go out. And then I've left my autistic colleague on the bar, 40 people in front of her. And obviously you feel like you're getting pulled in a lot of different directions. So I had that yesterday, combined with the fact that I was thinking about this episode today. I'm guesting on a podcast later today talking about why My Chemical Romance is autistic, and I'm really wanted to focus on that and think about that, not be at work. So all of these things are compounding, and I can feel a meltdown coming. I can just feel it. And then one guy comes to the bar, and he genuinely talks to me as if I'm deaf. And it felt so patronizing. I felt so disrespected. I could literally feel the meltdown coming. My hands are starting to clench. I could feel my eye twitching, my head I could really feel it coming. And I had to go and separate myself. And at the same time, I looked at my phone and looked at the time, and I was like, fuck, I have got 3 more hours of a shift where I am in charge and I'm having a meltdown. And I was just like, I want to get out of here. And I was thinking about the episode, and I was like, this is the time when I need my innie. This is when I just need to be like,
yes,
come on, I need some separation. I just need to not be here. I need somebody else to be me for the next 3 hours.
So it's not specifically a place or a task. It's emotions. You want to severance yourself.
Just like I need to
like
stop.
An emotional overload.
Yeah. And that's what I was just like, I need to stop this. But the only way that I stopped it, and I thought to myself, my special interests. I need my special interests right now. And the bar seemed to get quiet, and I turned to my autistic colleague and I went, Jess, what's your favourite special interest? She went, oh, I love live music and I love Disney. I'm obsessed with roller coasters. And we talked about roller coasters for an hour, and it totally regulated me. And I was really, really proud of myself that I went, that's what's going to help me. And I helped use her energy to regulate me. I was like, oh my God, ND people coming together. This is incredible. And I was really, really happy with it. But the thought that I had was, I'm going to kill somebody in a minute. If somebody's rude to me in a minute, I am going to blow. And not only am I going to blow, I'm going to lose the job that I still need to be in for the next week and a half. And I was like, I've got 3 hours to survive in here. And I could feel myself rattling. And I was just like, man, if I could just flick a switch and just not be me for 3 hours right now, that would be the best thing that could ever happen ever.
Yeah. I am proud of you. I think it's really fantastic that you can recognize it now, that you're like, oh, I can feel this coming, rather than just, oh, I don't know why I'm feeling like this, and then not doing anything about it because you're like, no, I've got to tough it out. Which that I've toxic done. Masculinity that we've all suffered through, of just like, no, I can't be weak. And it's like, it is okay. You'll find strength in weakness. By admitting your weakness, that is strength in itself.
It's brave to work on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a very similar experience. So I'm at work. It's a 12-hour shift. I've been there for a couple of hours. I think maybe 3 or 4 hours. I've already been there. Having a fine day. Everything's going well. I've actually got tasks to do, and I'm organizing things, and I'm working on the computer, and it's a good day and I'm enjoying it. And then my son puts in the family group chat, and I'll be honest, it's even hard for me to talk about this right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm having a session with Ashley to sort a lot of this stuff out. But he just puts in the group chat, I've just seen Rainier in town.
Oh shit.
Rainier is my birth mother, and he was in the next town over, and I didn't even know she still lived there. I was really hoping she didn't. After my dad passed away, hoping she'd buggered off somewhere, maybe, I don't know, hell. That would have been, But yeah, she still lives in the next town over, and Sylvia works in that town. I go to that town, and it is always a worry for us that we will see it, the creature, because I don't know what I'll do. Like in my brain, I'm like, no, I've forgiven her and I've moved on. And that's what I thought. That's where I thought I was. I really thought I was in a good place. I really genuinely did, because I've been working on it. I got a lot more work to do, apparently, because just the mention. So she looked at him and he just ignored her, because she was on the other side of the road coming out of a shop, and she stared right at him, and he just ignored her because he hates her for what she did to me. And she didn't say anything. She just walked off. Just knowing that happened didn't even happen to me. It happened to my son. And first of all, the first thing I did was, are you okay? I wanted to know if he's okay. And he said, no, I'm okay. Are you okay? Because she didn't do those things to me. Because weirdly, she was actually like, I mean, she wasn't a great grandmother, but she didn't abuse my kids. If anything, she just carried on abusing me as an adult. It was all focused on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I feel okay. And it just started growing. It was something inside me started growing. Like you've eaten some bad food and you're like, oh, that's a bit uncomfortable. And then it just starts getting worse worse and worse. At one point I was like, it was midday. I was like, I think I need to go home. And I don't go home. If I'm at work, I'm at work. Like I have been very ill at work and went, I'm just going to finish my shift. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to get through it.
Yeah.
I don't go home. And I certainly wasn't going to go home from this because my son saw my abuser. I'm not going to do that. But dude, I still had 6.5 hours to go of my shift because 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And that was the longest 6.5 hours that I can remember for a long time. And by the time it had finished, I was practically non-speaking. When I left, I was in like a state of almost like I was hypnotized. It was weird. It was like I just wasn't myself. And I was a little bit worried about driving home, but it was weird because all the worry I had from driving home, I just managed to completely hyper-focus on the journey.
Yeah, I've done that before.
I started it by trying to talk to Sylvia, and Sylvia just felt really like she couldn't do anything because she doesn't know what to do. She starts panicking because she feels bad that she can't help me.
Yeah, Karis is the same.
So I just said, look, I'm just going to put Jack Johnson on because that's where I go. I always go to Jack Johnson, the singer.
Banana Pancakes.
Oh, dude, 100%. Yeah.
I love that album.
Upside Down.
It's such a family album for us, you know.
Yeah.
For my family. It's crazy that we have that in common.
I don't know why his music particularly has a very calming effect on me, but it just does. And it's not like, oh, I'm feeling great, I'm going to listen to Jack. Anytime I'm feeling sick, I'm like, Jack Johnson. Like, that's where I go. So I just started listening to Jack Johnson. I just hyper-focused on the entire journey. And to be honest, it was probably the safest I've ever driven because I was so careful driving.
Yeah.
And things happened that they always do when you drive, and I didn't lose my temper because I wasn't angry. I felt terrified. That is how I felt, absolutely terrified. Like I was that little kid hiding under my covers, scared that she was going to come up the stairs and to start beating me because that's what she would do.
Feels like it's happening again.
Yeah. So, and because I've been, dealing with it as best I can, but just the reality that she still exists, because in my brain, I was like, she doesn't even exist anymore. The reality that she still exists, she's still a human, she's still around, and she's still in a freaking town that I go to. And even worse, on my way back from work, I have to drive through that town.
Oh, shit.
So I'm driving through that town.
You're literally in it. You're in that trauma. That's, oh, bro.
So and then I was like, right, I am going to eat chocolate and I'm going to go home. We're going to watch a fun movie and I'm going to have ice cream. I'm going to have crisps. So I went into, the shop on the way back, and it was weird. It was like I was in a dream. I was talking to people, but it sounded like everyone was underwater.
Yeah, you're not there, are you? You're there, but you're not there.
I'm on a plane of existence that is functioning, but that's it. Like there's nothing other than like a robotic piece of me that's just doing it. I have no emotion.
It makes me feel like I was when I was in London, just in go mode, disassociated out of hell, just like
that's like how I get through.
Shell shocked is how I felt.
Yeah.
Like PTSI, sort of shell shocked. Like I feel like somebody's, like even you talking about it, and I wish I could give you a big hug through the screen. But
well, see that's what Sylvia did. So as soon as I got home, it was just a big hug. She just hugged me and hugged me and hugged me. And I laid on the settee and she stroked my head because I put my head on her, and we just watched some YouTube videos that are like comment. I just wanted to watch something funny, something that would cheer me up. And she was just stroking me. And I felt like I'd been seriously injured. That's how I felt. And she's just taking care of me. And then, we went upstairs and we took the ice cream and the crisps and stuff, and we watched Air. And she'd never seen it. And Air is the
brilliant film.
Oh, it's
brilliant film.
It's unlikely funny. Like it's surprisingly funny. And she loved it. And it basically, Air is all about how Nike Air Jordans were first ever made and how Nike signed Michael Jordan, as the first athlete to have his own shoe.
What a great special interest film for you to regulate.
At exactly that moment.
Info,
one of my favorite things in the world.
Awesome idea.
And Sylvia loved it. The fact that she was enjoying it as well made me feel really good. And I just curled up and, just like snuggled up on her. And dude, I was great. Like that's what I needed. It was all the time that I was separated from her. And all I needed to make me feel better was Sylvia and food. Like those are the things that I needed. I needed Sylvia and I needed feeding. And Sylvia feeding me was like that. Yeah. And just like some switch off time. And I was fine. Like I'm fine now. I've got a lot of things that I obviously have to deal with that I didn't realize. I just didn't expect it to do it, because I need to prepare myself for if I freaking see her. Because if I'm like that because my son saw her, what if I see her? So I have to prepare myself better. I'm not in the place that I thought I was. So that's why I'm going to Ashley, and Ashley's going to help me with that. And I do believe that like she is the only person that actually can actually help me prepare myself for that. So saying that, let's have one more break. And I think it's the Ashley break.
Have you ever felt stuck in patterns that don't serve you? Struggled with stress or wanted to connect more deeply with yourself? Then I have to introduce you to a friend of the podcast, Ashley Bentley of Integrated Coaching, Breathwork and Hypnotherapy. Ashley is a highly experienced clinical hypnotherapist and coach specializing in working with neurodivergent minds. Through a unique blend of integrative coaching, breathwork and hypnotherapy, Ashley helps people rewire subconscious patterns, regulate their nervous systems, and step into more empowered versions of themselves. Whether you're dealing with addiction, anxiety, burnout, or struggles with self-acceptance, Ashley offers practical and science-backed tools tailored just for you. Her unique methods combine neuroscience, storytelling, and subconscious transformation to create real, lasting change. Jordan and I can personally attest to the profound and transformative effects of her sessions, which have been life-changing. She does all of these sessions online, meaning she can work with you no matter where you are in the world. If you're ready to break free from old patterns and start living with more clarity, confidence, and connection, go to bit.ly/AshleyNDE to book a free consultation or learn more.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot! Hot topic.
This week in the TISM News.
I love this. Good, fun news this week.
Good. Do you know what? Should we start the hot topic with that? And I go, good hot topic, bad hot topic.
Good hot topic.
Yay!
So, reading from The Independent, Bella Ramsey, the actor that played Ellie in The Last of Us TV, and they were also in Game of Thrones. As a random character.
In Game of Thrones.
As a random character. And I guess I'll be fair. I love Game of Thrones, but I don't love Game of Thrones like I love, Lord of the Rings and stuff. Game of Thrones. Anyway. So Bella Ramsey was in Last of Us, and Bella Ramsey received autism diagnosis after a crew member spotted signs. So the story goes, Bella Ramsey has shared that they were diagnosed with autism while filming the first season of HBO's The Last of Us. The Emmy-nominated star said a crew member with a neurodivergent child, oh yes, that word, neurodivergent child, noticed similar behaviors in Ramsey, which led the actor to seek a formal diagnosis. Bella says, I've spoken a bit about neurodivergence before, but I always, for some reason, didn't want to. I felt like I didn't want to say what it was. I got diagnosed with autism when I was filming season 1 of The Last of Us. Ramsey said the psychiatric assessment cleared up things they had always wondered about, whether it was feeling out of place at school or the sensory issues that came with the heavy outerwear and thermals they wore while filming in the cold. We will link the article so you can go through this whole story. But what I liked about it is it was just so positive. We are at a precipice of diagnosis where it doesn't feel like it's the end of the world. It feels like it's the beginning of a new life.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that so much.
And it's not just Bella. It's many, many people nowadays. And obviously celebrities are the ones that will get the attention. But, I know people in my life. I know people through Facebook who through RTN got diagnosed through RTN and have messaged me with that exact same outlook of, because that's what RTN do.
Yeah, affirming diagnosis is RTN. What should
there's a reason we partner with RTN is because they are neuroaffirming. They don't go, I'm sorry to tell you. They go, congratulations, what a wonderful thing. And to be fair, when I first got diagnosed, I was at the lady that I was with, and this was a while ago, she said congratulations, which I thought was brilliant. And
I had that too, yeah.
That's what we need. We need this positive idea of, okay, that this answers a lot of questions, but it doesn't mean that I'm a different person now. It means that I now understand myself more.
I know more of who I am. If anything, one of the things, if to come with our whole topic of severance, that is like reintegrating your innie and your outie, putting them together. Is like, you've been playing your role with your mask and sort of like putting yourself together and unmasking. But the big positive that I take from this story is that another person was affirming and approached them and was like, because that's what happened with me. I had a really great neuroaffirming advocate go, I think there's more than ADHD going on there, my friend. And you talked to me in a way where I didn't feel shame or like it was a bad thing. You talked to me as if you're like, oh no, this is great. And on top of that as well, I think that this shows the, self-diagnosis is just as key, because that person saw Bella Ramsey and almost self-diagnosed her through her knowledge, through her experiences, through her, her personal sort of understanding of it. And rather than going, oh, I know a child whose friends, dogs, cats, Mister is autistic and I know what that is. They went, oh, there's something, I recognize a few things here, which is what I think is so great. I have a colleague with me at work who was like, I think I've got ADHD, but I don't want to say I do. And I went, well, why? She was like, well, if I have got ADHD, then this is wrong and this is wrong. I was like, whoa. It says, if you get a diagnosis, you've suddenly not got ADHD, and these are things that are a part of you. And she's like, yeah, but I'm like really forgetful and I drop stuff and I can never get my words out. I was like, that's not that doesn't make you a bad person or that there's anything like quote unquote wrong with you. It's because you're comparing yourself to other people, or other people are telling you that that's how you should be. And that's what messed me up so much. So I was constantly comparing myself to people. So I absolutely love that somebody on that set saw Bella Ramsey and felt that approaching them with this information and passing it on was a positive thing. It wasn't like I'm better than you. It was an empowering thing of going, this is a good thing. Let me help you with this. And I love that because that's what I try and do. And you mean I don't want to like walk up to people randomly and just go, by the way, did you know you're autistic? Like, I don't want to like just like drop the mic in the conversation sometimes. But
you're not. Is that not what you're supposed to do? I mean, to be fair,
maybe
that I have. That's exactly what I do.
Because I'm still too neurotypically minded sometimes.
Because I can. The thing is that I will go and do that. I go, by the way, did you know you're autistic? And but I've got the clout to be able to say that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've got the experience, I've got the knowledge, and I can then talk to them for several hours and explain why I think they are, rather than I've seen a couple of things here and there. Because I will never just go. I mean, to be fair, I know pretty quickly. Like someone has to be very, very high masking, very like all the camouflage, like can't see at all, for me to not recognize at least the possibility that they might be autistic. Because it's like the dog getting that scent. I'm like, I smell the lack of synaptic pruning. Like, I know those dogs that can sense.
You literally like bloodhound on their head, like it's like no pruning here, no pruning.
I think the pruning is not completed.
Just like that's so funny. So
I sense an inner ant, an alternative neurotype inside you, and and then I'll maybe I'll talk to them about something completely unrelated that I might like try and sneak a few questions in here or there, and I go up to them and go, let me give you a test. But there's quite a few people that I know that I know that they wouldn't want to be told, and they weren't ready to hear it.
I know a few people that aren't ready, that I'm just kind of sat waiting for the right moment, I'll be honest.
But that's it. And a lot of time there is never a right moment. And I think in the past, I had no idea what a right moment even was. I was like, if it's right for me, it's right for everyone else. So I'm just going to go and tell people things, like they've just woken up and I'm like, did you know that this mountain is this tall and it takes this long to walk up it?
Yeah.
But just something like, oh, guess how many turtles there are? Just like attacking people with my special interest information and just bombarding them as they're like trying to sip through a coffee. Oh, what's happening? Like I used to do this to people at work. Like people would just get in and I might have been there for an hour or something before them. And then I would just immediately go into like a full thing that I've learned from the night before. Like I watched a documentary. Did you know that there's this tribe in this place and they do this thing and they've got a Man United t-shirt? How did they get a Man United? They don't even have glasses, but they got a Man United t-shirt. And I'll just like go into this like huge thing, and someone actually turned around to me and went, "You know what fucking time it is, right?" And I was like, sorry. And they went like, "Look, Jordan, I love you, but please fuck off. I'm just not in the mood." And in the past, I was like, ow, and just didn't want to talk to that person again.
Yeah.
But now I get it. Like, essentially, it's timing. And a huge part of learning how to be a neurodivergent person is learning about the things that you are doing that aren't necessarily wrong, but they're not necessarily right. So you've got to learn those nuances between you're not a bad person, you're not wrong for just going and telling somebody like a 1,000,000-word essay on your special interest, but you're also not right in doing that if the person doesn't want to hear it any more than if somebody came to you and wanted to talk to you about the intricate details of fly fishing. How I look at it is if you wouldn't want someone to do something to you, that's when you know maybe you shouldn't do that to someone else.
That is a fantastic golden rule, I think. It says if you wouldn't like it, maybe don't do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
As much as you inside you really want that. And I've had to tell a few autistic people off who are just like, it's not spelt like that. And I'm like, one, ableist. And then I get called ableist for for calling their mate, well, they're autistic, they can't help it. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm dyslexic and I can't help it.
Like you're just in a game of bullshit tennis, just like firing random. Yeah.
So essentially, just let people be people. And I made this wonderful post where I wrote a whole load of words that were misspelled, right? Completely misspelled, but they were readable because I spelt them how they're said. Like
so
yacht.
Like phonetically.
Yeah, yacht is Y-O-T, yacht, right? Not
Yakata.
Do you know what yacht actually sounds like if you pronounce it as it's spelled? It sounds like you're clearing your throat.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody with audio sensory.
Or knight.
Yeah, knight always messes with me.
Or gnome. Anyway, we can be here for hours.
And we will be.
Or giraffe. So I spelt them how you would say them. And loads of people were like, oh, I can't read that. I'm like, no. You slave to the dictionary. The dictionary has it in its name, Dick. It's written by Dick because it doesn't make sense. Just shut up. And that's my hot topic. I don't know how I got there, but that's it.
We got there. No, I totally relate to what you were just saying because every morning I wake up to Caris going, have you seen the TikToks I've sent you about Severance? Oh, no. Like, here we go, because it's currently her special interest. To be honest, we probably, if we had a spoiler chat, we'll get her in for an hour and she'll be here for 10. She's obsessed. Yeah, see, I watched one YouTube video just to sort of explain a few things that I didn't quite understand because, this is not a spoiler alert. It's fucking weird. Oh, yeah, it's proper weird.
And there's a lot of filler episodes where you're sitting around going, what's happening?
It cooks. It's a slow burn.
You just have to be patient with it. But if you're someone that's like, oh, I just want explosions and action and stuff, then just go and watch Reacher, I guess, or something like that.
The
which
shows
is also
are available.
Yeah, they're also really, really good. I mean, I actually prefer, if you go on Apple, I prefer this. I don't know how we got here. I prefer Slow Horses, right?
Because I need to watch that.
Slow Horses, every single season continues on from the season before, but there is an end and an explanation and a conclusion and there's a slight cliffhanger of like, oh, there's going to be something different than the next one. But there is always a conclusion at the end of every single season, where there are there's a lot of programs out there that I like Silo. Silo is really good.
Yeah.
And Severance that will just end on a cliffhanger. And my issue with the cliffhanger ending is, one, you have to wait like a year nowadays and sometimes even longer. And as an ADHD person, I'm not particularly patient.
No, me neither.
And my other problem is they just keep cancelling shows.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, the amount of shows where I'm like, they just don't finish it.
So there was a German show called 1899 that I think came out last year or 2023. And it was absolutely brilliant. It was really intriguing, very much like Severance, of like, what's going on? What's happening here? It's all set on this like old ship, and it's olden days, and you're just like, what's going on? There's some weird things going on. And then you find out what the weird things are. And it ends, but it ends on a cliffhanger because it's like, oh, we found out what they are. What next? And then they cancelled it.
Oh.
And it was a genuinely great show. Like, the acting was superb. The story was superb. The sets were superb. The costumes were superb. It was everything the opposite to Vampire Diaries. Which had 5 or 6 seasons.
Supernatural had like 18 or something.
Again,
didn't it? Like mental amount of episodes.
And those shows are great.
Great shows, but blimey,
they're great shows. But 1899 was far cleverer, far better. And it just got cancelled. And I was like, you can't even blame the writer's strike because this was in Germany and the writer's strikes were in America. Yeah. So I'm like, if there was any show that you wanted to carry on with, it was a European show. Anyway, I could be here for hours. But yeah, essentially that's what bothers me. Where are we? What's happening?
Who are we? What happened?
Yeah, I think we should just go. Thank you for listening, I guess. Go Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, we'll leave you on a cliffhanger,
Congratulations.
and hopefully we don't get cancelled between now and next week.
Yeah.
We'll see. Bye.
I have some news.
Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparks something for you, whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.